Welcome to Left On Wed.
Bite-sized tips for people getting hitched. Georgia Fletcher.
Adam Sini.
In the same room.
How did we get here?
In this part of town.
That's our podcast.
This is what you're listening to.
Yes.
Bite-sized tips for people getting hitched.
We've already said that.
That's
but
what we do.
What else do we do?
We say things twice, just so it's really nailed into you. What's today's topic?
We are talking about ways to save money on your wedding.
Right? And I think that this is something that everyone's been requesting since we've released the podcast.
The DMs are just off the chart.
I'm getting barraged with people. All our 10,000 followers on the Left On Red podcast page, again, I'm manifesting, have been asking for this topic. And it's here. Finally, we've recorded it.
They must think Adam knows what he's talking about when it comes to saving money. So
Can we just nail into what you mean by that for a second? What do you mean Adam knows?
Adam knows?
Is it because of my socks?
Oh.
Not these ones.
What
But
do you
usually I wear
mean?
socks with holes in them.
Do you? Oh, you do too. But you
Yeah.
also have socks with your name on them.
Face. I've got socks with my face on them.
You do.
And that's not ways to save money because they're not necessary to buy.
Yes. But
And
they
that's
do
my
look
first
good.
tip.
Is it?
Don't buy socks with your face on them. It's
But
not
you
necessary.
wear them.
I do, and it's a lot. It's
Cost
a lot.
per wear. So,
What?
celebrant maths. We've heard of girl math.
Have we?
Now we've got celebrant maths.
How does that work?
So if you spend money on something, like socks with your face on
Yeah.
them, and you wear them, they cost $30.
Yeah.
And you wear them 30 times
Yeah.
in 30 days. That's $1 per day. So cost per wear, you've made your money. After a month.
It's also full disclosure and tax deduction. And I know that we actually had a conversation about what not to say in terms of the ATO before we started recording, and now I've done it. So you need to stop this sentence from happening because I'm going to say everything.
But if you have receipts, it's fine.
Georgia,
Yes.
when I say ways to save money, what's the first thing that pops into your head? What do you say? What do you go?
Kmart.
Yeah, right? I actually agree. What can you get at Kmart? Run me through a list. 5 things, 30 seconds. No, 10 seconds. Go.
Candles, candle holders, blankets, cushions, chairs.
Keep going.
Oh, that was 5
I know, but you're so
though.
quick. I feel like you've got more in you.
Oh, gosh. Stationery, signing pens,
Yeah.
photo frames, blank canvases for a guest book,
Wow.
an actual guest book.
Wow.
And if I forgot to mention something in my 10 seconds that you only gave me when there's so much more, there's a TikTok account called Kmart Wedding Finds. Who's the face behind it? Me.
Hold on a second. You have a TikTok just for Kmart.
Kmart Wedding Finds. It's really good.
You're so full on. I love that. I don't know where you
I'm
get the
full on.
time to do that.
Well, all I do is go online and I look at the online exclusives or the clearances.
You actually have a Kmart TikTok account.
Yes.
Oh my God. If we are
People
not sponsored
love
by
it.
Kmart by the end of this season, this whole thing is a hoax. Let's start a hashtag. Hashtag Kmart sponsors Left On Wed. Go for it.
It's a journey. Make
Send
it trending.
it around.
Make it viral.
Wait, if it's not viral now, it'll be viral on her TikTok page. All right, so you know Kmart better than
I
anyone,
do,
it
and it's a
turns
great
out.
way to
I
save
didn't
money.
know that we had an expert in the studio today. So,
Here I am.
Georgia Fletcher,
Thank you.
What-
Kmart Wedding Finds.
you ran through a list that was more extensive than I expected. What in there is like something that you think is a must to get there? What's your biggest Kmart tip in there?
Well, I'm in two minds about this because I also want the couple to save money.
Yeah.
So I don't want them buying unnecessary things from Kmart,
True.
but there are some things that are great. So if your venue are not providing you with candle holders, candles, napkins, tablecloths, cushions for seating, glassware, champagne tower items, Kmart would be your place to go. Must-haves from Kmart that are quite affordable. Lovely signing pens. I've got some lovely little pens that I got from Kmart for like $3.50.
Wow.
They are way better than another brand that I have that I will not name.
Name it.
No, I won't.
I think that this episode's had a
about
lot on the
saving
table.
money.
What does it rhyme with? Does it rhyme with Boffice Mercs?
It rhymes with Mickey Day.
Mickey Day. Well, now I have to work that out, don't I? I actually don't know what that means.
Well, I'm not saying it.
Oh, I know what it is. yeah. I'm with you.
This episode is chaos.
It's chaos, and like and subscribe for more.
Kmart Wedding Finds.
So Kmart is great, and I think what you touched on is really great as well. You mentioned what the venue might have versus what they
Yes.
won't have. So great thing is, and you said we don't want you to spend unnecessary money. So before you go out and buy lawn games from Kmart, check in with your venue and say, do you have lawn games? Because
I
a lot
have
of the time,
those.
and Georgia has them for hire as well.
Kmart. And they have clear umbrellas that I also have.
And I just gave you a whole box of stuff you're taking home as well.
They don't
Georgia
like that
runs a hire company as well for these sort of things. But for example, you and I were at a wedding together recently, and we went into the shipping container. They just have like a little borrow shed sort of thing, and they had lawn games in there that you could just take and use. So checking with the venue and being like, hey, we're about to go out and buy these XYZ. Do you by chance have them? And you might get a surprise. You might
Check your inclusions really carefully
Yeah.
because you might be also designing your color pattern or color scheme and you're like, I want everything to be pastel colors and your venue might only have beige napkins. Can you settle for the beige napkins or do you really need to go out and get blush pink ones?
Great.
Probably not.
Speaking of blush pink and colours,
Ooh.
let's talk wedding party, right?
Oh, yes.
a
That's
lot of the-
another way to save money.
Big time. So I understand wanting to have a wedding party. I had one.
I didn't.
You didn't? There you go. Beautiful. So costs that come with having a wedding party. One, well, the big question is, do you pay for their outfits or not?
Hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup is a huge cost, which
Hens
you will
and
be
bucks.
covering. Hens and bucks. Do you pay for that? Don't they pay for that?
Yes, but you'll also give them ideas of what you want,
Yeah.
which could dictate the
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you can't have one.
No, it doesn't mean you can't have
I
one.
didn't pay $1 for my bucks. They all paid for me.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
But I had a do's and don'ts list.
Yeah, me
So
too.
that could have dictated the cost.
No strippers.
I said that too.
And they delivered. Anyway, we're not going to go into the butts because what happens in the butts stays in the butts. We're talking about wedding speeches in another episode. Don't mention the bucks, which I see sometimes happens.
Oh, cringe.
Not having a wedding party will save you money, but also maybe being clear if you do have a wedding party with them of what you are covering and what you aren't. So, for example, Ange's bridesmaids, they all wore whatever dress they wanted. She gave them a color scheme and they actually purchased their own dresses.
Yes.
And she said, wear whatever you want, but we're going to go with these sort of earthy, rusty colors. Do you mind getting something in that color? And they all purchased them. And then she bought them beautiful gifts and that
But
sort of stuff.
don't be afraid
instead.
to have those conversations very early on.
No issues if you have a conversation early, I believe. But if last minute and they think you're covering it and you're not, then someone's going to get the shoots with you.
Because you are a male, could you please outline some of the things that would be costly
Thank you.
if you were a groomsman?
Well, number one is outfits.
But what goes into an outfit for a groomsman?
Well, it depends what you're wearing.
Goodness.
Jackets,
Anything?
suits, pants, pocket squares, shoes, little things that you put on you that are
Tie,
flowers.
bow tie.
Oh, right. Bow ties, ties, yes. What's the little flower things that you have?
Oh, a buttonhole.
Buttonhole. That too.
Theo and Ted is a really, really great bow tie, handmade small business that we love to support
We
here
love
at Left
Theo
on
and
Wed.
Ted, and I've got a little bow tie of theirs.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. They're all handmade. We love them. Okay, so what are the costs for bridesmaids?
Okay, here we go. And that's assuming that you have the same gendered wedding parties.
Yeah.
You may have groomsmaids, you may have bridesmen, whatever we want to call them.
Yeah.
But typically, I suppose, at the moment, if we are assuming that you have groomsmen and I have bridesmaids, the costs may be their dress, their shoes, a change of shoes for the reception if the stilettos or the high heels are too uncomfortable,
Get them from Kmart.
hair and makeup. Oh, yes. Earrings. We got ours when I was a bridesmaid from Lavisa. Cannot tell you how many times I've worn them since that wedding. Amazing.
That's a great point, is what are you going to reuse and rewear? And I think that's a
Yes.
conversation to have with these people and with anyone that's coming or what you're doing is like, okay, we're buying these things. Can they be resold, reused, given to a friend or family member? Can they be redone? Andrew's
love
wedding dress, for example, she got it was a skirt and top. They were separate with like midriff showing, I think. Maybe. And she's since had the skirt taken up. So it's just a beautiful white skirt, which she can match with a different top and vice versa for the top is just a nice
recycling.
white top.
I love that. Savvy.
And my suit, as a celebrant, I've worn several times since. The
Costco
shirt I've
wear.
worn the same since. I know that my groomsmen have worn their outfits since as well because we got stuff that they would like and they all wore white sneakers.
You're
which were their
basically
own.
making money now.
I basically made money from my wedding. Let's actually talk about that, about gifts making money.
Yes, that's another way to save money.
Well, for one thing that you could do is instead of asking for a physical gift, is ask for help.
Yes.
Potentially, let's say, for example, a friend or family member is going and helping you with your table settings, or they're putting together your bouquets because they are a florist or whatever. No present from you required, please. I would like you to do. Can you help me with this instead?
Yes, being very thoughtful in who you ask, depending on the skill and the time that they
Yeah,
are offering as well.
Because if they're saving you money on the wedding, then you don't need that cash in an envelope. Speaking of cash in an envelope, wishing wells, baby. Make it clear on your invitation. Say, we've got everything we need. Please don't give us gifts.
Jump on to Give with Gravy. Choose some jobs, some roles, some passion projects that you want them to help with.
Gravy's a great website. It's a virtual wishing well, so they can give you
Yes.
whatever you like. So jump on
Technology
there.
is a great way to save money.
Or just have a box there that people put envelopes that have sneaky cash inside.
And have it at your ceremony because otherwise people are holding onto it all day.
And you know what? You can make back some money, as bad as it sounds, from your wishing well for your wedding, because you are paying for these people to have, a beautiful dinner and drinks and all that sort of thing. So they might put a couple $100 in there and that all adds up at the end of the day. And you might need that money after having a wedding.
So a physical wishing well or
Defs.
a digital wishing well. So circling back to technology for your wedding, that's another way to save money by instead of printing out stationery, you can jump online
Yeah.
and do apps and websites to be able to convey and share information about your wedding.
Speaking of jumping online, I want to talk invitations. Invitations, I've seen people get a graphic designer to do them. Maybe they have a friend. Another way that you could get a friend to do a job for you who is a graphic designer might put it together. Canva.
Love Canva.
Canva is beautiful. You can do anything on Canva. You can get them printed at Boffice Mercs or Vistaprint online.
Canva allows a lot of creative autonomy
Yeah.
and lots of wonderful tools that you can use to make it really personal. Vistaprint is a little bit limited in that regard, but I do find that they run great sales too.
Yes, and their Canva's AI is amazing. Oh my God.
How do we use that to save money on our wedding?
I don't know. Find a podcast that'll tell you ways to save money on a wedding. Jeez, this isn't the one. Hold on, check show notes. It is the one. Oh my God, Georgia.
Thank goodness you retracted that statement in time.
Hire some items. Don't buy them if you don't need them. Or if it's cheaper to buy them and hire them out after your wedding to other people.
I do that. Guilty.
Facebook Marketplace is a great place to go on. Lots of people.
Yes, Wed Chat by Wed Shed, the Facebook page. Lots of people sell secondhand things on there.
Spoiler, you're not the only person who's had a wedding, so people have probably got the things that you may need and might want to offload them cheaply and quickly because they want them gone.
Wed Shed also have another feature called Wed Share, which is on their website. I also have a little tip. Anything that you do buy, take a photo of it before your wedding so that you can then upload that to get ready to resell.
Georgia Fletcher.
Or ask someone to take a photo of it styled at your wedding so that you've got professional photos to then resell.
Because you are paying a professional photographer to be there for you.
Why not just give them a list? Take a photo of my wishing well, please.
Talking about photographers, talking about vendors, what about those optional extras that they offer? Is that somewhere that we can sort of think of, maybe I don't need X, Y, Z. Is it important to have this optional extra?
Yes, maybe I don't need to hire a videographer because maybe my photographer has that. Maybe I don't need to hire a professional MC because maybe my DJ does that.
Maybe.
What if I don't need a content creator because my photographer will do great photos?
Yep. I do want to touch on all that for a second. Yes, yes, yes. Find what's important to you and for your wedding and focus on that. One of the biggest regrets that I see from my couple, you mentioned it, is not having a videographer. So many of my couples are like, damn, I wish I had this videoed. And it's something that people think about a lot. So I would say more focus on maybe those optional extras in terms of, do I need this longer package? Do I need these extra little bits of bobs for this from this vendor? Do I need that?
Absolutely. Very
But
good point. to
don't
make.
forget that this is, for us, photography was our biggest investment because it's something that we look at all the time. I showed you our wedding photos when you walked in. I couldn't help
Just
myself.
your wedding photos, man. You made a magazine. You
put them-
published your wedding in some kind of publication for your house.
I made a magazine. I made a magazine with our wedding photos.
I made a book from Kmart.
Oh my
$45.
But who's counting?
No one.
What's
Not at
your
all.
TikTok for Kmart?
Kmart wedding finds.
Kmart wedding finds, baby.
If you need anything for your wedding that I haven't already mentioned, check out the TikTok.
My main piece of advice for saving money is yes, where you can, you should save some money. If it's not in your budget, then don't do it. Don't blow your budget on your wedding. It is one day. As a wedding vendor, I do understand, we understand that it is one day, but there are elements of your day that you should invest in. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed that you didn't. Get someone who you vibe with for your celebrant, for your photographer, for your videographer, florist that you love their style, and then try and find bits and bobs in other places that maybe you can save some money.
I've got an idea.
I wish you would. Yes, me?
just did a bit of a wed TED talk. So we should say
My God, should we call this Wed TED, this podcast?
no, but whatever you just did
Wed
was
talks.
like a wed TED talk.
Oh my God, we got the wrong name. It's a shame we've already released all these episodes.
And we've got a logo.
Georgia,
Adam,
I'm going to save money by ending this episode here because every minute you're in my house, you're costing me precious time.
invoice me later. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Are you my guest? Is this my podcast
Well,
now?
you
Get
were-
out of my house!
Hey, thanks for listening.
We really appreciate you. And if you want to hear and see more, follow us on the socials. We are at Left on Wed Podcast on TikTok, on YouTube. There are full video episodes and on Instagram.
There sure are. If you've got questions, you've got comments, ideas for topics,
Yeah.
slide on into the DMs. But you can also inquire about our celebrant services by finding Adam on Instagram and TikTok at Married by Adam.
That's me.
You can find me at Georgia Fletcher Celebrant.
And if you are itching to tell people about this, please do. But you can leave us a review on whatever platform you listen on. Tell people how much you love it. 5 stars only.
Thank you. That's all we will accept. We'll see you next time.
Left on Wed is recorded on the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay respects to the elders past and present.
We, Adam and Georgia, acknowledge our First Nations people's continuous connection to culture and the importance of storytelling.